Have you ever walked out of a room wondering how someone just turned the entire situation in their favor, without raising their voice, without forcing anything, and left you questioning your own position? It's like playing chess against a master while you're still thinking 3 moves behind. They don't rush. They don't overplay their hand. They simply wait and win. You've probably felt it. In a meeting where one quiet person barely spoke, yet everyone followed their lead. Or in a conversation where someone twisted your words with a smile, leaving you defensive and unsure how you got there. You walk away feeling frustrated, maybe even a little humiliated, but you can't put your finger on what just happened. Here's the truth most people never realize until it's too late. This isn't luck, and it's not charisma. It's a system, built on timeless principles that generals, emperors, and the most influential leaders have relied on for centuries. A system almost no one is taught, and the reason most men keep losing their advantage without ever knowing why. The good news? You can learn it. You can walk into any situation, read intentions before words are spoken, shift the balance of power without ever breaking composure, and make your presence felt without demanding it. This isn't about manipulating others. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that the environment bends to your pace, not the other way around. If you don't understand these rules, you'll keep giving away your influence in negotiations, relationships, and every high-stakes conversation without even realizing it. But if you do, you become the one no one can predict and everyone respects. So, if you're ready to stop being moved by the game and start controlling the board, stay with me. The 6 principles you're about to hear can change the way you see and hold power for the rest of your life. Number 1. Master emotional stillness. If one sharp comment can make you lose your composure, then your opponent doesn't need to beat you. They've already won. This is how most people give away their advantage. They get hooked by a provocation, take the bait, and spend the rest of the exchange reacting instead of directing. In the game of influence, the first person to lose control almost always loses the upper hand. Think about a battlefield. A skilled general never reveals his plan in a burst of frustration. He doesn't move his troops because an enemy shouts insults from the other side. He waits, he observes, he acts only when the moment favors him. You need that same discipline in conversation, negotiation, or conflict, because the instant you react impulsively, you show the other side exactly where to hit you next time. Emotional stillness is more than staying calm. It's a tactical weapon. When your tone remains steady and your body language unmoved, the person across from you begins to question their assumptions. They can't read you. They don't know if they've hit the mark or missed completely. And uncertainty is power. It forces others to hesitate, second guess, and even reveal more than they intended. There's a reason ancient leaders trained themselves to rule their own minds before ruling anything else. Modern science backs this up. When anger or anxiety takes over, your brain's amygdala hijacks your responses, shutting down your strategic thinking. By learning to pause before you act, you give your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that plans, evaluates, and calculates, time to step in. This is where your true advantage lies, in staying in control while others surrender to impulse. Marcus Aurelius, faced with the chaos of war and politics, reminded himself daily that nothing outside his mind could truly harm him. He knew that composure in crisis wasn't about being emotionless. It was about choosing the right emotion at the right time for the right purpose. That's what separates the man who commands a situation from the man who's consumed by it. When you let anger lead, you're broadcasting your weaknesses. You're telling the world, push here and I'll break. People remember those moments. And once they've found your emotional trigger, they'll pull it whenever they need to throw you off balance. One outburst can undo years of credibility, and once you're known as someone easy to provoke, it's a reputation that's hard to shake. Here's a simple discipline that can change the way you operate. The pause rule. Anytime you feel your pulse quicken or your jaw tighten, stop. Count to 3. Take one slow breath. In those 3 seconds, decide whether the reaction you're about to give serves your long-term goals or just your short-term ego. That pause is not weakness. It's the difference between moving like a master or flailing like an amateur. This is how you outsmart someone without saying a word. You force them to fight a ghost, someone who doesn't respond on their schedule, who won't play their game, who refuses to step into the frame they've set. Instead, you set your own frame. You decide what matters and when it matters. When you master emotional stillness, you become the one person in the room who can't be rushed, rattled, or read. And in a world where everyone's reacting to everything, that kind of presence is rare, and rare always commands respect. Now that you can hold your ground in the storm, you're ready for the next weapon in your arsenal, the ability to lead with silence. That's where power becomes truly unsettling. Number 2, let silence lead. What's more dangerous than a person who talks too much? The one who speaks rarely, yet somehow bends the entire room toward them. That's not coincidence, that's control. In any contest for influence, the person who dictates the pace dictates the outcome, and silence is one of the sharpest tools to do it. Most people are terrified of silence. They scramble to fill it, spilling words they haven't measured, revealing thoughts they didn't intend to share. This isn't because they're careless, it's because quiet creates pressure. Human nature hates a vacuum, and whoever fills that space first often gives away more than they should. If you can resist that urge, if you can let the pause breathe, you force others to show their hand while you keep yours hidden. Silence isn't emptiness. It's the moment where you gather intelligence without tipping your position. When you're quiet, you're not idle. You're reading the room, weighing the unspoken signals, and deciding exactly when and how to strike. The longer you wait, the more your eventual words carry weight, because they stand apart from the constant noise around you. Psychologists have found that in negotiations, the party most comfortable with silence usually ends up with the better deal. Why? Because that pause after an offer makes the other side second-guess themselves. They rush to fill the space, often by sweetening the terms without you saying a word. The same effect works in conversations, interviews, even conflicts. By controlling the rhythm, you keep the upper hand. Seneca once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we may listen more and talk less." His own life reflected that discipline. He understood that restraint in speech is not about weakness, it's about holding your power in reserve, letting others reveal themselves before you commit to action. Like a sword kept sheathed, silence keeps your opponent guessing, and guessing is where their mistakes begin. There's a practical way to train this. Use the silent interval method. After someone finishes speaking, count slowly to 3 before you reply. This small delay serves 3 purposes. It gives you time to think, it allows the other person to keep talking and possibly reveal more, and it subtly signals that you are in control of the pace. The key is to keep your expression calm, neither impatient nor overly eager, so they feel the weight of the pause without sensing hostility. Over time, this practice changes how people respond to you. They stop interrupting. They measure their words. They begin to anticipate your opinion instead of dismissing it, because they know it's not something you give freely. That's how silence transforms from an absence of words into a presence that commands respect. Silence is not retreat. It's the stage you build before the moment you choose to step forward. And when you do, your words land with the force of someone who speaks by choice, not by compulsion. That is how you unsettle opponents, earn attention without asking for it, and keep control of any room you walk into. Now that you can let silence do the talking, it's time to learn how to take that mystery even further by letting people think they've figured you out, while you stay 3 moves ahead. Number 3, be strategically misunderstood. What's more disarming than being underestimated? Being underestimated on purpose. Most people waste energy trying to prove they're smart, strong, or capable from the very first moment. They flash every credential, every skill, every ounce of their ability, thinking this will win them respect. But in the long game of power, the loudest one in the room is often the easiest to read and the easiest to defeat. There's another way. You can choose to let people see a version of you that's incomplete, even misleading, not to deceive for the sake of deception, but to control the story they tell themselves about you. This isn't about lying, it's about curation. You decide which cards to place face up and which to keep pressed to your chest. Here's why it works. When people believe they've figured you out, their guard drops. They stop looking for what they think isn't there. And that's when they start leaving openings you can step through without resistance. Psychologists call this the confirmation bias. Once someone forms a judgment, they look for evidence to support it and ignore evidence that challenges it. You're simply giving them a judgment you've designed in advance. Think of the Roman statesman Cato the Younger. To the casual observer, he seemed simple, even politically naive. Plain clothes, quiet manner, never seeking the spotlight. But beneath that image, he was a shrewd tactician who could sway decisions in the Senate at critical moments. His restraint was not weakness, it was camouflage. By the time others realized the depth of his influence, it was too late to counter it. Being strategically misunderstood gives you both time and freedom. Time to watch your opponents expose themselves. Freedom to prepare without interference. It keeps you out of unnecessary battles because you don't appear to be a threat until the moment you choose to be one. And when that moment comes, the contrast between what they thought you were and what you truly are is devastating. You can train this ability through a simple method: controlled underestimation. First, decide which strengths you'll keep hidden. Second, create a public mask that is true enough to be believable, yet soft enough to seem unthreatening. Third, maintain that mask consistently. Don't let pride tempt you into revealing too much too soon. Finally, unveil your real ability only when it changes the outcome decisively in your favor. The key is discipline. It's hard to resist the urge to correct someone's wrong opinion about you, but every time you let them keep that opinion, you add another layer to your advantage. And there's a quiet satisfaction in knowing that while they're underestimating you, you're already 3 moves ahead. Nothing shifts the balance of power faster than the moment someone realizes they've misjudged you, and that they've been playing your game all along. That's the beauty of being strategically misunderstood. You don't have to fight every battle, because most people won't even see you coming until you've already won. Once you've mastered the art of being underestimated, it's time to learn another form of invisible influence. How to turn your very absence into a force that shapes the actions of others. That's where the next rule begins. Number 4, turn absence into strength. Have you ever noticed that the more available you are, the less people value your presence? It's a strange paradox. In a world where everyone is fighting to be seen and heard constantly, the real power often comes from stepping back. When you are everywhere, at every moment, your presence fades into the background. But when you choose your moments carefully, when you deliberately create absence, you transform yourself into something rare, and rarity always commands respect. Think about it. Human nature craves what is scarce. We value gold over sand not because it shines brighter, but because it's harder to find. The same rule applies to influence. If people can access you anytime, anywhere, they begin to take you for granted. But if you withhold your presence, if you show up only at the right time, you make your appearance feel like an event. That's how absence becomes a weapon, one that works quietly but powerfully. Psychologists call this the scarcity effect. We tend to overvalue things that are limited and undervalue what is always available. And the same logic plays out in relationships, careers, and social circles. A man who speaks in every meeting eventually blends into the noise. But the man who speaks rarely, and only when his words matter, draws the entire room's attention when he finally opens his mouth. I've seen this play out countless times in everyday life. There was a man at work who used to attend every meeting, answer every email within minutes, and join every after-hours gathering. People respected his effort, but over time his constant presence became routine. His voice lost impact because it was everywhere, all the time. Then he changed his approach. He stopped going to meetings that didn't require him, waited before replying to messages, and focused on what really mattered. Suddenly, his absence was felt. People noticed when he wasn't there. And when he did contribute, the room went silent to listen. His presence became valuable again, not because he was louder, but because he was rarer. This is how absence builds strength. It saves your energy from being scattered everywhere. It prevents people from overstepping boundaries because they know your attention isn't guaranteed. And most importantly, it reshapes how others perceive you. You stop being the man who is always chasing approval and start being the man others must earn the right to hear from. Here's a practical way to use this. Practice deliberate absence. That means saying no to events that don't matter. It means letting a pause exist before you respond to messages. It means choosing carefully where you invest your presence. Done consistently, this trains people to recognize that your time and energy aren't free, that they carry a cost, and the higher the cost, the more seriously people take you. Remember, absence isn't weakness. It isn't neglect. It's a signal. It tells the world you value your energy and refuse to spend it cheaply. Marcus Aurelius himself often withdrew from the chaos of politics to write and reflect. That retreat wasn't escape, it was renewal. The kind of silence that made his presence stronger when he returned. If you want absolute power, don't make the mistake of being everywhere, all the time. Make people feel your absence. Let them miss you. Let them wonder what you're thinking, what you're preparing, because when you finally show up, the impact will be 10 times greater. And once you've learned to make absence a source of strength, the next step is even subtler. Learning to guide others without pressure, by reflecting them back to themselves. That's where influence turns almost invisible and nearly unstoppable. Number 5. Lead quietly through reflection. Have you ever wondered why some men can walk into a room, say very little, yet somehow everyone feels pulled in their direction? It's not because they dominate the conversation. It's because they know how to reflect back what others bring, creating a quiet alignment that dissolves resistance and builds influence without force. This kind of leadership doesn't shout, it doesn't demand. It works like gravity, drawing people in naturally. The core of this principle is reflection. Not imitation, not parroting someone's words, but aligning yourself just enough so the other person feels understood. Human beings are wired for connection. When someone mirrors our tone, our energy, or even our rhythm, our brain interprets it as familiarity. We relax, we lower our guard. And once that guard comes down, guidance becomes possible. You don't have to push. People begin moving in your direction almost unconsciously. Psychologists call this the work of mirror neurons. These are the parts of our brain that light up when we see someone else experiencing what we feel. It's why yawns spread, why laughter becomes contagious, and why subtle reflection in conversation makes us feel closer to someone without even knowing why. If you understand this, you realize that real power doesn't come from crushing opposition, but from making others feel so aligned with you that they choose to follow. Imagine a still lake on a clear day. The lake doesn't try to change the sky. It simply reflects it perfectly. Because of that reflection, the sky sees itself in the water. The same thing happens in human interaction. When you reflect someone's state, they begin to see themselves in you. And once that happens, influence flows naturally, because people trust what feels familiar, even if they can't explain it. The strategic benefit of reflection is enormous. In everyday conversations, it prevents conflict from escalating because you aren't meeting fire with fire. In moments of negotiation, it creates trust, opening the door for the other person to reveal more than they planned. And in leadership, it makes people believe that your vision is also theirs, which is the most powerful form of persuasion because they don't feel led, they feel understood. Here's a practical way to use it. Think in 3 steps: observe, reflect, redirect. First, observe carefully. Watch their tone, pace, posture. Second, reflect lightly. Adjust your own tone or energy to meet them where they are. Not too much, just enough that they feel a connection. Finally, redirect. Once alignment is built, slowly guide the pace or tone toward where you want it to be. In an argument, this might mean starting at their intensity so they feel heard, then gradually softening your voice until they follow you down. In a meeting, it could mean adopting someone's language at first, then pivoting to shape the conclusion. The true genius of this approach is subtlety. Done right, no one notices you're leading. They believe they are arriving at decisions on their own. But in reality, you've been steering the current the entire time. That's why this form of power is so difficult to resist. There's nothing to fight against. As Seneca once observed, the wise man doesn't need to argue to win. He guides through reason and presence. Reflection is the embodiment of that wisdom. You don't impose your will, you align with others until they willingly carry it out as if it were their own. That is leadership at its most refined, quiet, almost invisible, yet absolute. And once you've mastered the art of leading quietly through reflection, the next step in your arsenal is knowing when to withdraw completely. Because sometimes the most decisive act of power is not to speak, not to lead, but to walk away with clarity. Number 6. Walk away with clarity. What's stronger than a sharp comeback? The ability to stand up, remain calm, and leave without saying a word. Most people think strength is about staying, fighting, and proving their point until the very end. But the truth is, the man who knows when to walk away, without anger, without pleading, carries a power far greater than the one who clings on. His silence and departure speak louder than any words could. The reason this is so difficult is because of human psychology. We're wired to fear loss. Psychologists call it loss aversion. The idea that losing something feels twice as painful as gaining something of equal value. This is why so many stay stuck in draining relationships, meaningless arguments, or jobs that no longer serve them. They're terrified of the emptiness that might come after leaving. Yet in reality, clinging is what weakens them. It makes them predictable, dependent, and easy to control. Clarity changes everything. A man who walks away with clarity doesn't do it out of fear or impulse. He does it because he knows exactly what aligns with his values and what doesn't. When he sees that something no longer serves his growth, he doesn't waste time explaining or trying to convince anyone. He simply leaves. That decision, made in silence, shifts the entire balance of power. Think of a general on the battlefield. A reckless leader would fight to the last soldier just to avoid the appearance of retreat. A wise leader knows when to withdraw, to conserve strength for the battle that truly matters. Walking away is not defeat. It is strategy. It's the discipline to save your energy for wars worth fighting instead of bleeding out in meaningless skirmishes. When you master this, you gain several advantages. First, you protect your focus and mental energy. Instead of being dragged into endless conflicts, you stay sharp for opportunities that actually advance you. Second, your absence creates weight. People notice when you leave, and that absence forces them to reflect. Third, you set a boundary that cannot be ignored. You prove that your presence is not guaranteed, it has to be earned. And finally, you become unpredictable. The moment others realize you can walk away at any time, they treat your presence with more respect. Here's how you can put this into practice. Start by setting clear boundaries. Decide what you will and will not tolerate, in arguments, in work, in relationships. Then ask yourself one simple question when facing a tough situation. Does this serve my growth and my long-term direction? If the answer is no, leave. Do it calmly, without drama, without explanation. Let your silence carry the message. That's walking away with clarity, not from weakness, but from strength. Remember, you cannot outsmart others if you remain chained by fear of letting go. True power is having the freedom to walk away when something no longer aligns with who you are becoming. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that freedom comes from mastery of the self, not from what others give you. When you step away with discipline and clarity, you show the world that nothing outside of you has control over your path. The man who can walk away is the man who cannot be controlled. And once you've mastered this, you're no longer playing by the rules others set for you. You're the one defining the game. You've now seen the 6 rules that transform quiet presence into absolute power. They are not just tactics to win arguments or outmaneuver others. They are disciplines that protect your energy, sharpen your clarity, and make you impossible to control. Most people spend their lives reacting, chasing approval, or clinging to things that drain them. But when you master these principles, you step into an entirely different arena. You stop being moved by every storm, and instead, you become the anchor that others cannot ignore. Remember this. True strength doesn't roar like thunder. It stands like a stone that forces the wind to change direction. When you remain calm, when you choose silence, when you can walk away without fear, the world bends to your pace. That is not weakness, it's freedom. And freedom is the foundation of all real power. Don't just hear these lessons and let them fade. Apply even one of them today, whether it's pausing before you react, or setting a boundary where none existed before. Watch how the people around you begin to shift. If you're ready to keep building this discipline, join the journey with us. Subscribe, share your thoughts below, and remember, your greatest power begins within.